What is up, guys? This is Astranox, Showcase of Senya and Guild War. I'm gonna talk to you guys about my issues with Senya, especially in the 3v3 format of Guild War. So she's 15 skill ups. I'll show you guys her stats, her gear, and the stats of the other heroes that I bring along with her are at the end of this Guild War video. Now, let me start to talk about my issues with Senya. First of all, well, the 3v3 format doesn't let her shine as much as in a 4v4 format because you can support her better, make sure that she's gonna stay alive longer. You bring her sustain, maybe it's the Aureus, maybe an adamant shield, barrier, and you can bring like another damage dealer with her, right? If let's say you can't get them to target her, right? Like, because if she doesn't have her counter attack buff up, that's also an issue. She's too slow, let's say. We're fighting Aurora today, and we're losing so far. We're losing. So that's a problem, because you want to bring some other damage there with her, and then you can't have like the sustain plus like the extra layer of protection of like Aureus, defense buff. Like, you can't have all that stuff all together in a 3v3 format. Unless you have Adventure Ras. Adventure Ras is actually amazing with her. I wish I actually had him built so I could showcase that to you guys. But Adventure Ras with the defense buff, the dual attack trigger with the potential defense break, saving your souls for that skill 2 of A Ras, the strip on skill 1, and you know, the sustain on his skill 3 with the Aureus, he can sort of like keep himself alive for a bit longer. I feel like A Ras is definitely an amazing hero to pair with her. Definitely wish I had him to showcase that for you guys. So I'll talk more about my issues, especially in this battle, right? We got two heroes. We got Ceres that reduce buff duration by 1 turn. We got Briar Witch Sarah that strips, that applies unable to be buff, debuff. These things are deadly versus Senya because if she's slow, they are lapping her like crazy. Like, I had to wait to get the counter attack buff to use the skill 3 on herself. I had to wait for my Ray, which is slower. In a perfect world, he was faster than her and he would go before her, removing the buff, dispelling all that, the debuffs, and then healing, right? That's what I meant. Removing the debuffs, not dispelling. So that would have been perfect, actually, if he did that, because she could use skill 3 and let's say my Fallen Cecilia went after all that, and then yeah, now having Ray slower, definitely shooting myself in the foot right there. Unfortunate. But I had to delay the skill 3 of herself and Fallen CC because of that. And that time might have, it caused some problems because they're dealing a ton of damage. Arbiter Vildred's like on a degen build with Moonlight Dreamblade, like 13,000 HP. And he's evading because of Moonlight Dreamblade throughout the battle. He didn't land crits really at the start versus Senya. A few of his hits. He's on a counter set, really annoying. It's been triggering throughout the battle, and it's really, it's adding up. And it's definitely, I'm not in a good position. It's just like constant damage happening. And the, the invulnerability on Celine too, keeping her alive there, even after a counter attack. But the reflect damage of her S2 happening before the invulnerability is pretty cool. Almost took her down, but not enough. I have to leave here. Ray attacked, RB triggering counter. Screw that, I'm out of here. I should have attacked someone else, guys. I was not paying that much attention. It was late last night, and man, I was super tired. I had to do my Guild War on all 4 accounts and finish with this one. Anyways, these battles, like especially the first one, meta heroes, meta team comps in Guild War are very high in offense, a lot of them, and they have heroes that are very deadly versus her that can, you know, take that counter attack buff off, or they're just throwing a bunch of damage at her in a 3v3 format. It's hard to keep her alive, you know, to bring all these tools, everything, plus maybe have another hero that can assist her with damage. But A Ras, you can kind of like trigger, you know, the dual attack with her. So if she's on her own artifact, that's a really sick combo with Adventure Ras, and I really wish I had all that. But Elbrus Ritual Sword, I feel like I can like bring her in more battles because of that. I'm not like, oh man, they have too many single target damage dealers, they don't really have AoE, so her counter attack buff is not going to shine too much, especially they're not going to be targeting her because of the elemental advantage. and stuff like that. So with Elbrus, at least, unless they have like a count, like they cannot trigger counter like a Landy, right, a Spectre Tenebria, then I'll be fine. Like it might trigger throughout the battle. That's the thing. It's luck based, same as her S2, the anti-crit passive, right? It's 50%. It's pretty high. It's fairly reliable, but if you get unlucky, that's unfortunate because the reflect will not the reflect, but I mean the extra damage from the passive when they hit you with a non-crit, right? Support heroes, that triggers a lot versus them, but damage dealers with 100% crit, that's a different story. They still have 50% chance to crit unless they are, you know, at elemental disadvantage, right? But yeah, that's definitely an issue, and I really feel like the 3v3 format doesn't allow her to shine the way a 4v4 format does. And in the current meta, it's really hard to position her. I feel like there's a lot of big threats that counter her kit, and Landy even, like she's buffing the team, more buffs for Landy to get that defense penetration on skill 3 faster. It's really dangerous, and you know the Ceres Arbiter Veldred combo that deals just a ton of damage, they're lapping you like crazy. It's really rough, and if you don't have the right tools, the right heroes to bring along with her, maybe some of these heroes that have multiple utilities in their kit that fill sort of like multiple roles all in one hero, it's really rough to use her properly, right? So that's some of my issues with her. Of course, I shown you guys that she can shine in quite a few scenarios, and let's say like if I want to pair her with like a Lilius in a Guild War GVG formats, right? The problem is that the third spot, I probably want to bring like Oxlot, which I've been doing in RT and Arena, because that's an easy way for her to get the counter attack buff going on herself. If she's built on low speed, then you don't have any CR pusher to get her to go fast, then maybe the whole enemy team is going in between before she goes, and they might be landing her on her, like maybe they strip her and then they apply unable to buff debuff, or just the strip happens later, the counter attack buff is gone, or they simply just burst damage, throw a bunch of bursts on her and she goes down, and you can't keep up with all that burst because you wanted to have a certain team comp that didn't have like an Aureus. And then if you build her too tanky, then she's just gonna fall. I mean, she's just not gonna have that much of an impact during the battle. And if you build her too fast to get that counter attack buff up, then you're losing stats that could potentially increase her attack and survivability, so she packs a harder punch on those counter attacks. Really rough. A mage with Eyeless Violent could just say, like straight up take that counter attack buff off, like what happened versus Dizzy. So yeah, there's quite a few things you have to worry about. It's not only like heroes that have actually a strip that take your buff off from their kit, but any mage with Eyeless Violent could be troublesome. So yeah, some issues with her, quite a few actually. So here in this team, I'm like, man, screw that. I'm just gonna bring some damage dealers with her. You know, Bruiser Shoe, anti-crit buff, plus her passive. It's actually 50% chance to not receive a crit from her passive, and then 50% of 50% means like it's a 75% crit reduction together, right? So it is multiplicative, it's not additive. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but still it does help her, but I wouldn't say that it's a must-have, right? DN is a different story because she sustains attack buff. But here, I feel like Spectre Tenebria with the dual attacks, the attack buff that she got from Senya was pretty nice. But Spectre and Shu definitely carried this battle because she was sort of like ignored. Her reflect damage did some chipping, right? It did some damage, but not enough compared to these other two. Anyways, let us know what you guys think about her in the comments section. I invite you to check my Arena and RTA videos of her to get a better understanding of how she performed in a 4v4 format. But this in 3v3, I would say it's kind of rough, unless you have some specific heroes like Adventure Ras, right? Adventure Ras is amazing with her. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Let us know what you guys think about her in the comments section. That's our score after the battles, doing better. And these are the stats of the heroes I brought along with her. If you are looking for an emulator to play Apex 7 or other mobile games on your computer, the one that I use personally is in the link in the description of the video with the instruction on how to install it properly. But that's gonna be it for this one, guys. I'm Astranox. Good luck with all you do. Peace out for now.